Good afternoon. This is Gregg Daffner here on PTC TV with Campbell MacFarlane, President of Enterprise at OneWeb.
Hello, Greg.
Hello.
I'm good. Pleased to be here today. How are you?
I'm very pleased to be here too. I'm great. How are you?
Very good, very good. Enjoying Hawaii.
And what's not to enjoy?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I thought we could talk a little bit about, for our audience, a little bit about what it is that OneWeb plans to do.
Well, OneWeb was started in 2012 by our founder, Greg Daffner, who had the idea about connecting everyone and anyone, anywhere, no matter region, geography, terrain. So OneWeb has been running for 7 years now, and we're launching 645 satellites. We're doing that in the next 18 months. We already have 6 satellites up there, and the idea is to connect everyone who is unconnected, whether they are in any region, but basically it's connecting the unconnected, and the ambiguity around cost and price will be gone, because we will serve the markets depending on which markets need what service.
Okay, so you say 640 satellites?
645 satellites will be launched by October 21.
And would that make this the largest constellation ever created in the history of space-based communications?
Yes, it will. In fact, OneWeb will have 25% of the world's satellite capacity in 3 years' time.
Wow.
It's quite a venture.
It is quite a venture. Now, the orbit that you chose is a low Earth orbit, a LEO.
A LEO, yes.
Why did you choose LEO?
Well, LEO satellites work much closer to the Earth. They work around about 1,200 kilometers away from the Earth's surface, which means the latency and the speed at which it travels is much faster than anything we've had before. So it's almost like getting a fiber service from the sky, anywhere you want it, in any region.
And what kind of connectivity and coverage will you actually be
It'll be global coverage, so every part of the world will be covered.
And connectivity?
The connectivity will be LEO. It will be fiber-like. It will have speeds of 400 megabits per second and a latency of, well, in the trials it was around about 32 megabits per milliseconds.
Okay.
So it's very fast and very low latency.
And without getting into technical details, what kind of an orbit is this? This is around the equator, around the poles, around the what?
No, the satellites go from north to south and circle the Earth in planes. Each satellite goes around the world every 109 minutes. Wow. So they travel quite fast.
They do. And are they on the same exact altitude, or are they spaced a little bit so that when they come across the top of the world, the planes don't actually cross?
They're at the same altitude, round about the 1,200 kilometers.
Okay. I hear your firm talking a lot about community and responsible use of space. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so whilst we're developing applications and propositions for the enterprise market, for the maritime market, for the aero market, we're also very cognizant that we are a sustainable company that cares about the communities that we do business in. And when you think about the 4 billion people, almost half the planet are unconnected. So when we're developing those propositions, a lot of them have got community elements to that. And if you look at the vision that one might have, that every school will be connected, every pupil has got connectivity and connect with the wider communities that they want to connect to, it really is a game changer going forward in terms of what the world will see, in terms of what connectivity does for areas right now that are deprived of that connectivity only through cost. Because the unconnected are not really unconnected, they're only unconnected because they can't afford to be connected. And OneWeb will change that dynamic.
Okay, and you mentioned fiber earlier. Are you going to be competing with fiber on the ground?
No, we'll be complementing fibre. And if you think about fibre, we'll not be bumping up against fibre in the metropolitan areas. We'll be bumping up against fibre where we're complementing. So if you take the Aleutian Islands, for example, out in Alaska, there's a project there to put a fibre right around these islands. Now there'll be a fibre going around there, but we could offer diversity. So OneWeb could be partnering with companies who are putting those projects in through our partner Microcom to actually offer a resilient diversity in those type of projects. So in that instance, that's an example where we'll be complementary rather than competing.
Yeah, I heard you speak about the rolling out of services in Alaska and Hawaii.
Indeed.
And
yeah.
can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we've done a partnership with Microcom for Alaska. We were in Alaska a few days ago, and the feedback we've had from various sources, from the companies that we've met, the oil and gas companies, from the government of Alaska. In fact, we have a message from the governor of Alaska complimenting OneWeb and Microcom in the technology that will bring Alaska. They see this as game-changing. Alaska has always been playing catch-up. It's always been the faraway state with the difficult terrain. Alaska will actually be ahead. It will be the most connected state very, very soon. In Hawaii, we've also done a partnership deal with Pacific Dataport, and Hawaii will have this service by the end of this year.
Fantastic. This year?
End of this year, yeah.
Even before your entire fleet is launched?
Part of the testing, part of the satellites will be getting tested by the end of this year. That's the plan.
Well, this sounds like a real game changer and very exciting.
Thank you.
This is Gregg Daffner for PTC TV, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.